And former Union Law Minister and senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad joins me on the Supreme Court verdict. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the Supreme Court scathing in its indictment of certain officers. Also, this clean chit for then Chief Minister Narendra Modi. How do you see this verdict, sir?
Well, one thing you must remember, my friend. Narendra Modi suffered this calumny for 12 years as the Chief Minister and 9 years as the Prime Minister. There was a big cottage industry in India of leftist pseudo-liberals, of intellectuals so-called, of some media people who made a name for themselves in castigating, pursuing Narendra Modi on falsehood, and also NGO, the international campaign. Total 60 investigations were done apart from SIT and official investigations. Now remember one thing, this is very important, that in 2011 in an SIT constituted by the Supreme Court headed by Raghavan, a distinguished CBI former director, in which not even a single serving or retired Gujarat officer was there, they came to the conclusion in 9 sensitive cases that they did nothing against Mr. Modi. And remember one thing, Mr. Modi was summoned and interrogated for 9 hours as the Chief Minister. And he never called BJP office bearers to hold a hangama before the CBI office as is being done by Congress leader. The Chief Ministers are leaving their job to offer dharna for the interrogation going. Suffered everything in silence.
Yes.
Now they again pursue. They file a protest petition before the lower court. Then they go to the High Court and then they again come to the Supreme Court. And what is the motto? Frame Narendra Modi. Frame Narendra Modi. Therefore, this cottage industry for the last so many years, in spite of suffering so many rebuffs, never at all stopped in their diabolical design. The quest was not to get justice to the victims of riot. The only benchmark, somehow or the other, Narendra Modi must be implicated.
The cottage
First
industry
the
that you
riots,
speak of, sir.
Then the
What is
Sohrabuddin
this
case,
cottage industry? What is this cottage industry,
Yes.
sir? And does this cottage industry that targeted, as you say, then Chief Minister and subsequently Prime Minister Narendra Modi, does it still exist?
They do, but they have been rejected in the court of law, and they and their patrons have been rejected in the court of the people of India. Again I repeat, the diabolical designs have been rejected. The Tisas Dalwads, her NGOs, her international friends, some selected media editors, some TV journalists who made a career out of castigating Modi in the last so many years. Okay? We all know them. Why should I take anyone's name? And their political patrons internationally. Well, don't forget one thing. Mr. Modi was denied a visa to visit USA for 9-10 years. Good luck. He went to USA as the Prime Minister upon invitation of the President of the United States. And today, Indo-US relationship is at an all-time high. That was the kind of campaign. I want to make it very clear. Any riots is unfortunate. Those who are guilty must be punished. But today on your channel, since I am sitting in my constituency in Patna, I want to remind your viewers one thing more. When Mr. Lalu Prasad was the Railway Minister in 2004-05, he set up a committee of a retired Supreme Court judge, Mr. Banerjee.
Yes.
You remember that the car Sevak's train going from Ayodhya to Ahmedabad in Godhra, there was a fire in coach number S6 and all, and about 50 car Sevaks died. You remember that?
Yes.
That great Mr. Banerjee held, there was no attack on the coach. The fire was lit from inside by accident. Can you see the cottage? Yes, this was the cottage industry I am talking about, Mr. Gaurav Sawant. This was the cottage industry. You remember there was a Modi meter column in a particular newspaper?
Sir, the officials...
Yes, go ahead.
You know, the officials who carried out the investigation, Not a tittle of evidence is what the Supreme Court found. No evidence, and just certain insinuations that were made. Investigations have been questioned against those, and the claims made by those officials, perhaps for political reasons or otherwise. Does your government intend to take action? What will your next course of action be, sir?
That is something, a structured view will have to be taken. It will not be proper for me to make any comment. But again, coming to the cottage industry, Mr. Gaurav Sawant, don't forget one basic, crucial fact. All the investigation was done during the UPA regime. This SIT of 2011, Raghavan's committee.
Yes.
The complaint of Zakia Jafri in 2006-7. The Supreme Court saying investigated everything. And Mr. Modi subjected to a 9 hours grilling cross-examination by the prosecutions. Okay? Nothing came out of it. Yet they kept on challenging, kept on questioning. Therefore, this whole cottage industry, as I always say in my press conference, I consciously and deliberately, 60 investigations, official, non-official, NGOs, international, whatnot. And today, taking benefit of your program, allow me to make one comment. The Supreme Court has said this. Before that, the SIT report was accepted by the Supreme Court in 2011-12. Based upon evidence, extensive examination of evidence. Then how is it, Gaurav Sawant, and I say so with great respect, a retired Chief Justice of India, in the year 2004-5 wrote a 25-page judgment when Rome was burning, Nero was sleeping. You remember that?
Yes.
That is still there. Therefore, cottage industry syndrome was working in many places. But I'm happy and I'm proud of my leader, Mr. Narendra Modi, that he came with shining color, both to the court of law and also repeatedly to the court of the people of India.
Those who ran this cottage industry, those who received funds or are alleged to have received funds from overseas, certain investigations were undertaken. Will those investigations be taken to their logical conclusion, including allegations of diversion of funds for personal use, sir?
Surely, why not? That is a process going on in Home Ministry. It should go, and it must go. These cottage industry custodians who used to procure global fund to prosecute Mr. Modi must be brought to book. Why not? Must be made accountable. Why not? Whatever happened to Zakia Jafri, her husband died, there was a riot. More than 20 riots have taken in the Congress regime after independence in Gujarat. Unfortunate. They happened in Bihar, they happened in UP, they happened in Bengal. Leftist government or Mamtaji's government. The guilty must be brought to book. But the entire campaign on secularism in the fight against communalism was only that we have to succeed in nabbing Mr. Modi. That's all. Gaurav Sawant, should I tell you some of the writings of some of the great editors of India? Not only in India but also globally. In many parts of the world, I was confronted with their articles. And I was shocked to see the patent falsehood which they have indulged into in some of the global writings. That is
an attempt be made to hold them accountable with the Supreme Court verdict now giving a clean chit to the Prime Minister and saying that SIT report was unimpeachable, or words to that effect, sir?
Yes, obviously, but these are matters which I cannot comment upon based upon your channel. They'll have to be examined thoroughly. Judgment has only come today, this huge judgment. But yes, it is a great vindication, because as a senior lawyer, I also was involved in some of the cases in the Supreme Court of India before I came to power in 2014. And I have seen myself as to what kind of view, I don't want to name, in some of the judges' court, Mr. Modi's case was absolutely, what to say, a closed mind was there. I am saying so with full sense of responsibility. Literally closed mind. You can make it out. Come on, India is governed by rule of law. If you are so prejudiced, don't hear the case. And I am saying so, Mr. Gaurav Sawant, with some degree of responsibility.
And that's
So
a
the
very,
great
very
TV
major
channels,
thing to say, sir. That's a
editors
grave,
and anchors
grave
who made
charge
a good
to
name
level,
for this.
sir.
Actually, I am not taking name, but I am saying so with some degree of responsibility. Okay? Therefore, we all hold the judiciary in high respect, but I took the name of 2004 judgment or not. That Supreme Court, 3-4 benches, repeatedly after examination of evidence saying what? That the SIT investigation is right. There is nothing against Mr. Modi. Then how could a Chief Justice of India, Mr. Gaurav Sawant, write a judgment of 25-30 pages, copiously used by certain selected TV anchors when Rome was burning, Nero was sleeping? What is this? Tell me what is this? That's the point.
But what do you intend doing,
Therefore,
or what does
today
the
when there is a
government
final
intend to do
closure,
about this, sir?
That is a call to be taken. I am not competent to comment, nor do I wish to comment. But today, in democracy, Gaurav, there is something of a recall value, you know? Therefore, today I recall that value. And I consciously use the word cottage industry, whose only objective was to nail Narendra Modi ji, come what may. I'm happy that he has given a final closure today. And that is, falsehood has slippery foundations. You can't detain truth for too long. That's what this story is about.
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, for joining me here on India Today. Many thanks.